security, fighting poverty, and adapting ourselves to climate change. First and foremost, energy efficiency is energy security. It is thanks to building renovation that we've managed to consume much less gas in Europe now than we used to do back in 2010. That saved us from a shortage of gas when Vladimir Putin decided to threaten us and to use gas as a weapon against us Europeans in the winter of 2022-2023. If our industry was able to access some gas in the winter 22-23, that is partially thanks to the success of building renovation, because we were able to consume much less gas in the building sector, and therefore we had some gas for the industry that actually needs it now. And so the more energy efficiency we do, the more energy secure we are. And when Putin is threatening us now, threatening freedom and security in Europe, when Trump can use our dependence on American liquefied natural gas to bully us, more than ever, we need to consider that energy efficiency investment is investment in European security. The second reason is that building renovation is the best way to lift everyone from energy poverty. We have today in Europe tens of millions of European families, European men and women and children, that are suffering from cold at home in the winter. We're talking about single moms who can't afford to live in a flat that is well insulated. They're renting poorly insulated flats. They don't have the money to pay the heating bill that is too high, and they have to explain to their 5-year-old children why do they feel cold when they wake up. It's Europe in 2025. We've been having for decades the technology to make sure that this would not happen, to make sure that everyone could wake up in a comfortable bedroom that is heated at a decent temperature. And the best way to do that is to do building renovation, because when you live in a building that is well insulated with no heat, no heating, or very, very minimal heating, you get comfort. Something that most wealthy Europeans take for granted, which is something that poorer Europeans, even some middle-class Europeans, still need to fight for. And that's another reason why we need to have a genuine renovation wave for our buildings in Europe. And the third reason is because our climate is changing. Because of decades of inaction by previous policymakers, the amount of CO2, the amount of greenhouse gases that is already in our atmosphere is already heating our planet. And with bullies like Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump in power, things are not going to get better. And so therefore what we have is not only a warmer climate in the world, but Europe is becoming hotter. The impact of climate change is actually worse for us Europeans than for the rest of the world. When the rest of the world's temperature increases by 2 degrees, our temperature in Europe increases by 3 degrees and sometimes more. And that is especially true in the summer. And so therefore we have more and more heat wave. And we know that those heat waves are hurting, and sometimes they're even killing. And so therefore building renovation is critical to make sure that we can adapt our buildings. For the vast majority of the European continent, especially in the north and in the center of our European continent, we've been having buildings that were firstly made to make sure that they could protect ourselves from cold winter. And that is still something that we need to do. Now we also need those very same buildings to be equipped in a way that they can protect ourselves for against very, very, very hot summers that are increasingly harmful to human health. And that's another reason why we need more investment in building renovation to make sure that we also tackle that 21st century challenge, which is the impact of our climate on our buildings. We need to make them more resilient, and we need to make them more protective of human health, especially against the summer heat waves that are already hitting us and that will be hitting us much harder in the years and decades to come.